That goddess got 5 kids, 2 of them left her, and her life is a movie. So, this episode of My Life is a Movie, I will be talking about my daughter and her kidnapping situation. I'll be inserting clips um, of moments of dealing with this whole case and situation. This has been ongoing for 15 months. Yep, 15 months since March of 2023. My daughter was kidnapped February of 2023, and I'll get into all of that. Also, give clarity and things like that. So, I am retelling my daughter's story. I started this journey on TikTok in 2022 when my daughter went viral for her unaliving attempt when she was in the hospital. And our TikTok family showed my daughter so much love. I will make a separate video speaking on her mental issues, her hospitalizations. Why? Because I know that's going to be the next thing. Like, oh, why was she in the hospital? What's going on? Blah, blah. I will make a separate video. So let me get into why I don't have my daughter and answer some of you guys' questions. Warning. I get emotional speaking about my daughter in this situation because I'm still going through it. So please bear with me. Like, I'm a straightforward, blunt person. I don't play no games. And especially when it comes to this situation about my daughter, no tolerance. I'm going to just let y'all know. I don't play when it comes to my kids. Like, I don't. So anyway, and also disclaimer, I am not a good storyteller. So if y'all like, come on, that's why it's a YouTube video, long form content. I'm a horrible storyteller. I also have been battling with social anxiety for some time, and I've came a long way, a really, really long way. But I'm just letting y'all know I'm not the best storyteller, okay? So bear with me. So my oldest daughter, who is 14, Janaya, my pretty, beautiful, gorgeous baby. Anyway, so she spent 2 months in residential. So this was back in 2022. When she got out of residential, she was doing really, really good, y'all. She was doing really, really good. And then I allowed her to go to my parents' house. Not a good environment, not good people, but I just wasn't thinking like we would end up here. Let me rewind a little bit. I dealt with a lot of mommy and daddy issues, though my parents are married and I've always had them. A very toxic, negative environment. Both of my parents are narcissists. So this drama with my mom started earlier in 2022 over a relationship I was in, and I'll make a separate video about that. I cut her off. This the first time in my entire life, 30 something years of living. She didn't like that. She also had a vendetta against me because of that as well. So my daughter gets out of the hospital, and me just being someone that wanted my mom to accept me and love me, I forgave her for the abuse. And I just felt like just setting boundaries, like we would be okay. And I messed up. Like, I messed up bad, y'all. I messed up really, really bad because you can't set boundaries with narcissists. They don't care about boundary. Like, you just can't. And so I allowed my daughter to go over there for my niece's birthday, which is February the 4th. And even prior to that, she went over there. She spent the night a couple times. And I would notice her behavior changing. I would notice her coming back home very aggressive, very angry, very irritated, fighting her siblings, my middle daughter beating her up, dragging her outside the house and things like that or whatever. And I'm just like, no, we don't do that. in this house. We're not going to be fighting. We're not going to be calling siblings names and things like that. We're not. We're going to love on each other. We're going to respect each other. And she just wasn't hearing it. Now, with my kids, I don't spank them. I feel like that's abuse, but to each his own. So with my daughter, she's very entitled. I raised her very entitled. She felt like she can do things and there's no consequences, and that's not how life works, right? So I've went to extent of I took her TV, I took her phone, like I've taken everything from her, and still she still has this attitude like, I'm gonna do whatever, I'm gonna be disrespectful. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And so, y'all, I still hadn't taken time from her, unaliving attempt and her being in the hospital. She was in the ICU for 3 days. That did a lot to me mentally. And then she was in residential for 2 months. That did a lot to me mentally. I never been away from her, right? So I hadn't even gotten a chance to be able to take a step back and process this trauma. Like it was so bad, like the most traumatic thing I've ever, one of the most traumatic things I've ever experienced in my whole entire life, and my other children, because they were there, they experienced it too. And so I had planned a trip to go back home. I'm Jamaican, so I had planned a trip already to go to Jamaica to stay for like 2-3 weeks. I was like, that's my time. I need it. I haven't done anything. I haven't taken time for myself. I need to reboot. I need that. So I reached out to her dad. This is somebody that had been crying and screaming about, him not having the same opportunity as my ex-husband to be a father to his kids, and all of this raw stuff, which is not true. This is somebody that has essayed me. This is somebody that I have went back and forth with as far as wanting to be in his children's life, basically begging him to be a part of his kids' life, but he never gave a damn about them. He only cared about me. He was obsessed with me. It was a sick obsession about me. You're talking about somebody that my kids are at my parents' house waiting because I had to completely cut ties, where he didn't know where I lived at. He didn't know my number or nothing like that. He was sickly obsessed with me. He was using the kids to get at me. And then when they got older, he would be saying, hey, how your mom's doing? Oh, I'm gonna marry your mom. Sick stuff like that he would do to my kids when he got them. It wasn't quality time, trying to get to know them, wanting to be around them, wanting to be a father. It was always about me. Always about me. So there were some things that happened and transpired, but I'm like, hey, let me give him the opportunity to be a father and then get his kids. So I reached out to him and I'm like, he doesn't have to do nothing. At that time, Jeremiah was 16. At that time, Janiyah was 13. They're self-sufficient. Honestly, it really was like them watching themselves. He's just there, to be honest with you. And so he was like, yeah, sure, cool. I can do that. Now, for my birthday every year, I fly out to DC to get my nails done. I have a celebrity nail tech in DC. I always that's like a ritual I do for my birthday. I go fly out, get my nails done. I flew out, stayed with my best friend at that time. But I let him know this was a week prior. So basically I celebrated the whole month of February. I deserved it, right? And so I told him I was dropping them off to him prior to me going to Jamaica. Because 1 week I go out there to Maryland, and then I came back and then I went to Jamaica. And he was like, okay, cool. But he lies all the time, y'all. It's always tactics to get close to me, right? So coming up to like days when he's supposed to get them, it's all these excuses and all this other stuff or whatever, right? It was a situation with my daughter. So there was a robot vacuum, and I had a robot vacuum or whatever, and I called all the kids in the living room. I'm like, who broke the vacuum? How did the vacuum break? And they're just standing there. And you know how us black people, how we do, so my youngest son was like, Janiyah did it. And so I'm like, you broke the vacuum? The thing about it is all you had to do was tell me. You tried to hide and then you're lying. And I teach my kids about honesty. Before I understood that words are spells and you have to be mindful of what you say, I used to state to my kids, what do mommy hate? And they would all say liars. I changed that. Now I say, what do mommy love? They say honesty, right? I'm big on honesty. I cannot stand somebody that lies. And so I'm like, why lie about it? Or whatever. So the situation escalated is all I'm gonna say. And she bucked at me like she wanted to fight me and stuff and yelled in my face and said, I hate you. I want to go to my grandparents' house. No, you're not going to your grandparents' house. Better yet, I'm going to take you to your daddy's house, because your dad's house, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. It's not a good environment. He doesn't live in a good area or whatever. So going to your dad's house is going to be a lesson. So I thought, right? So I take her and her brother and drop them off at the daddy's house. No, I didn't call or nothing like that, because again, his tactics and is to get at me. Is not to do anything for his kids. So I'm like, nope, you gonna go to your daddy's house. You got to learn a lesson. You have to learn that the world doesn't revolve around you. That when you do things, there's consequences. That this entitlement is only gonna get you so far, right? So I pack up all her stuff. Well, she packed up her stuff. Sis was just like, she was in her room, just whatever. I said, oh, you gonna see. You gonna see. You think the world revolves around you. Daughter, you're going to see. I promise you. Life is gonna show you. And she just was like, whatever. Take me. Leave. I don't care. Like, she was very disrespectful, y'all. Like, very disrespectful. I was like, okay. So she's packing her stuff. I ain't have to pack her stuff. She packed her stuff. And I took her to her daddy's house, and I dropped her off at her daddy's house. She didn't have a phone. I didn't speak to them. Again, I'm not in contact with the dad. There's no relationship. There's nothing for us to talk about. So I go out to Maryland, get my nails done, come back, and then then when I came back, I went and I met him. Right here, as you can see, I met him to drop off their Valentine's Day stuff or whatever. He was trying to do slick stuff then, and I'm like, get out my face. Like, y'all, please take your kids' stuff and go, right? I even spoke to Jeremiah after that, like, oh, is Janai still upset? I'm checking on her or whatever. Did she like her gift? And he just like, Janai was just like, whatever, like, she in her feelings and stuff. I was like, okay, but she did get it, right? And he's like, yeah. So I then, a couple days later, I go ahead and go to Jamaica. So now I get to Jamaica, and the next day I get a notification on my phone that my daughter has therapy session set up. So I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, ain't no way I would set it up for this date, and I am in Jamaica. I know her dad couldn't do it because he knows nothing about her. He knows nothing about her doctor, nothing about therapy. He knows nothing about her. So I know it's not her dad. So I called the office because I'm like, this has to be an automated thing. They just automated, like, automatically scheduled it, right? So I called them like, hey, did you guys schedule this appointment? They're like, no, you called in at 8 a.m. to schedule an appointment for her. It was a woman. I said, well, there's no other woman, because, y'all, let me tell you something. I don't trust people. My kids don't go to people's houses. So it was always my parents' house or my house. That's it. I ain't do friends sleeping at friends' house. We don't got no family in Georgia, so it ain't no family house to go to other than my parents. Friends ain't spending. I didn't play that. I don't trust people. I don't trust people. That's just what that is, right? And so I FaceTime my mom. I don't regular call her. I FaceTime her. And I FaceTime her, and I wish I would have screen recorded y'all if I would have known it would have turned out like this. But I FaceTime her, and I'm like, you got Janiyah? The evilest look on this woman's face, y'all. The evilest look. It did something to my skin. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. And she states, how you know? Who told you? How I know who told me? What? So I'm like, you got my daughter? You got my daughter? So she's just sitting there, and she's really not saying nothing, but she's turning the phone because you could like tell Janiyah was on the other side or whatever, right? I kind of like seen like a little bit of her, right? And I told her, I said, you know how this is gonna go. I choose to end my relationship with you. I said, how are you going to get her in school? How are you going to do anything for her? Like, I have full custody of my daughter. I have full custody of all of my kids, even to this day. Full custody of my children, right? So I'm just sitting here thinking, how is she going to do any of these things, right? And this woman had this evil, like, smirk on her face. I did not know what it was about, y'all. I did not know. I had no idea. So I didn't cuss her out. I started my healing journey in 2022, and I cut her off the first time. When I reopened that door, I told her I forgave her. I ain't call this woman out her name. I ain't yell at her. I ain't do nothing. I choose to end my relationship with you. I'm not gonna allow anybody to abuse me. I don't care who you are. I'm not gonna allow anybody to abuse me. And so that situation really hurt me, and it's all over money. Me and her did not get into it before I left to go to Jamaica. I simply sent her a text message, and this was the text message I sent her, stating that she was no longer gonna claim my son on taxes no more. I cut her off from money, and only thing she said was okay. I did not know this woman was angry and upset behind money. Again, we didn't fall out. There was no argument. There was nothing. There was nothing. But I knew she felt some type of way. I hadn't been to Jamaica in years. She didn't make sure I made it to the airport. She normally check on me. If she don't hear from me for like a day or two, she'll check in or check in about the grandkids and stuff like that, right? She didn't make sure I made it to the airport. She didn't text, call, or nothing when I got to her sister's house. Nothing. So once I hung up on her, because her sister was sitting right there, and I'm like, that's messed up. She was like, don't focus on that. Enjoy your birthday. Enjoy your time there, here. You know, when it comes to the grandkids, they're going to do anything and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, because me as your daughter, you don't do nothing like that. You don't. And then I had other conversations with my aunt about love. I said, that's not love. And she felt some type of way. But while I was there, y'all, I didn't know the whole time my aunt knew that her bitch ass sister kidnapped my daughter. Fake ass family, like to play in people's face. And I'm talking about my mom's side, because my dad's side ain't like that. They straight cutthroat like me. They're not even gonna play in your face and act like they like you and they don't like you. They don't play them type of games. If they don't like you, they don't like you. That's it. My mom's side, that's the worst of the evil. The worst of the evil. They're gonna smile. They gonna act like they love you and this, that, and the third, whole time playing in your face. My aunt asked me about my kids, asked me about my daughter. I'm like, oh, they're with their dads. Their dads got them. Whole time she knew her bitch ass sister had kidnapped my daughter. So I enjoyed my time in Jamaica. I did. I had an amazing time. They treated me good. Not even gonna lie. I had an amazing time. But now it comes me coming back in March. I was there in February. Now I'm coming back first week of March, y'all. And I had this gut feeling. Like this, like, I don't know how to explain it. So here's this video. Here's this video with me just saying, like, I knew something wasn't right. Like, I felt it. Even on the way, like, I didn't want to leave Jamaica, but I did. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't want to leave, but I did want to leave. And on the way to the airport, it just, like, anxiety was getting higher and stronger and stuff. And then I get on the plane, and my ex-husband calls me, and I'm just like, what's going on? He's like, I'm just checking on you. Like, he was feeling something because he's very spiritual too, and he got a gift. So it kind of had me a little uneasy. I'm like, are you okay? Did you see a sign or something like that? Because we're spiritual. We don't believe in religion. And he's like, no, I'm just checking on you. And it just made me feel some type of way. Y'all, oh my gosh. We land in Atlanta, but they tell everybody stay seated. Stay seated. And they call me to the front of the plane. They tell me get my belongings and come to the front of the plane. I'm like, I don't know, I ain't do nothing. I ain't smuggle nothing. I don't do nothing illegal, right? They tell me to step off the plane. I step off the plane and I met with customs. They're like, let me see your passport. So I pull out my passport and then they tell me I'm under arrest. My heart dropped. I'm under arrest for what? I don't have no record. I ain't never been locked up in my life. You're telling me I'm under arrest for what? So they said, oh, did you get into a fight with somebody? Did you? And I'm like, no. What are you? No. You ain't do nothing. You ain't pull out a knife on nobody. I was like, no. What are you talking about? They said they didn't have like the statements or whatever, but there was a warrant out since 2022 for me. And I said, okay, because I'm ignorant when it comes to warrants, y'all. I've never had a warrant in my life. So I'm like, so y'all don't call somebody or you don't come to their house? And they're like, no, we just wait and for you to do what you did, like go out the country. But they were supposed to stop me from going out the country. They were supposed to arrest me then, but they didn't. So they sat and waited for me to come back. So y'all, I'm literally freaking out, but I'm not acting crazy. They were really nice to me. They were gentle. They didn't lock me up. They was like, we could just walk to the room. As long as you're not acting crazy or do nothing, you're good. And one of the officers was really, really nice to me. He could tell I had anxiety. And he was like, do you have anything you could take? I don't believe in medication. So I was like, yes. I took my like herbal stuff or whatever. And I was like, can I call my ex-husband? Ooh. I was like, can I call my ex-husband? And he was like, yes. And so I called my ex-husband. I can't really talk, y'all, because I'm processing that I'm about to go to jail. Like, my kids need me. I don't know what's about to happen to me. Like, I'm literally freaking out. And so the officer was like, oh, can I talk to him? And he talked to him. And he was like, okay, what do we need to do to get her? Like, just bond out. Like, no problem. We got property. No, he said, that's not the worst part. That's not the worst part. The worst part is she has to sit and wait for that county to come and get her from Clayton County. So I'm like, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not okay. Not okay. So Clayton County came and got me like within 30-something minutes. They got me. I went there. And the worst experience ever. So the other county came and got me like the next day. When the other county came and got me, that's when I was able to see the statements. There were 3 statements wrote on me. Jeremiah and Jania's dad, my older 2 kids' dad, wrote a statement on me. His sister and some woman that was staying with him. I have to make a separate video about that whole situation. And basically they issued a warrant based off of what these people said. And this was back in 2022. Mind you, whole time, I didn't even know there was a warrant. I met this man, like I dropped my kids off at his house, not knowing I had a warrant, and he wrote a statement on me. I met him right before I left to go to Maryland to give him, right before I went to Jamaica to give him my kids' Valentine's Day stuff while he's all in my face. He even called me later that evening crying on the phone, and my middle daughter was like, hang up on him, he's sickening. He's on my phone crying and talking about why I don't like him. And whole time this sick, disgusting ass man had wrote a whole statement on me, y'all. I was facing up to 40 years in prison behind these dusty ass people. Yeah, y'all, sick. I decided to be outside and just, I have to release y'all. So, but anyway, So, I get to that county and I'm thinking, I got property. I could just use my property and bond out. No, 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 y'all. No, no. Because it was only my name on the deed. Basically, long story short, I didn't have bond. I had to wait for first appearance. Don't even know what the hell that was. But yeah, I had to go to court for the judge to set bond because it was 3 felonies, 2 aggravated assault charges and a firearm charge. So I go to court the next day. They set my bond. I believe it was 25,000 total or whatever. And I'm like, okay, boom. Then I found out I couldn't use my property. And so my ex-husband reached out to my mom. Don't know why he did that. I really don't know why he did that. I don't. But he reached out to her and she agreed to come and bond me out. She comes and bond me out. And I'm like, yes, I'm grateful, y'all. I'm grateful because she didn't have to do it. So I run up, I hug my ex-husband, I hug her, and she's just like this, y'all. Like, she don't want me touching her. And then she got this look on her face. So I'm just like, okay, well, thank you. As we walk out the jailhouse, this woman looks at me and she says, I have guardianship of your daughter / temporary custody of your daughter. At this point, I'm defeated, y'all, because what else? What else? What do you mean you have custody of my daughter? Like how? Like what? Huh? What? Y'all, I had to process all this. It's like trauma after trauma after trauma. Like, what else? And then she's like, yeah, I had to do it because I had to get her into school. That was my only way to get her in school. Y'all, don't forget. Go back to when I said she had that look on her face when I said, how are you going to enroll her in school and get her in school when you don't have custody? So she went and she filed for guardianship. But she's telling me she already has guardianship, right? So boom, we're talking, we're communicating. She's asking about the grandkids and stuff like that. Oh, I missed them, and I'm still keeping her at a distance. Like, I'm being respectful, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're good. She's trying to reach out to them on their phone. No, like, bitch, no, I'm on to you. There's something else. There's something more. You're lying. Like, Spirit just kept saying, like, she's lying. Like, don't allow her to get away. So it was about a week or so, y'all. Like, a week or so, I'm just trying to process what's going on, right? But whole time, I'm thinking she has custody of my daughter. But I'm like, it doesn't make sense. She starts reaching out to me. Hey, I need you to go to the therapy office and switch the documents over, and basically giving her permission to be able to take my daughter to therapy. And that's when the bell rung in my head, like, something's not right. Because if you got custody, you wouldn't need me to go down there and do nothing, because you got custody and you got documents. Y'all, I went up to the courthouse. I'm asking questions. They're telling me, no, that's not how it works. It has to run through the newspaper for 4 weeks. And then they were like, it has to be signed off by a judge. I would recommend you getting a lawyer, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I had been up there. I had called up there a couple of times. I finally got a clerk that basically told me what happened. I also got a copy of the paperwork for the guardianship that my mom filed. Absolutely disgusting, y'all, to say the least. Absolutely disgusting. So what this woman put on the paperwork was that basically I abandoned my daughter. They didn't know my whereabouts. They didn't know my address. They didn't know my phone number. They didn't know nothing about me. She took my daughter's dad there as well, somebody that has no legal rights. So if you're in the state of Georgia, you know that if a man has not been legitimized, even if he signed a birth certificate, if he has not been legitimized, or y'all have never been married, he has no rights to those children. Simple. Georgia law. Look it up. It's not hard. He has no rights to any of his children. Even till this day, has no rights to his children, right? This woman takes this man up there, and both of them said the same thing and lied. So they're like, oh, they're going to give this abandoned mom the opportunity to present herself and stop this. I guess I came back a little earlier for for the guardianship to actually be finalized. And so when she agreed to bond me out, that was supposed to seal the deal, because, hey, I got you out of jail. Now you do me a favor and be okay with me kidnapping your daughter, right? She didn't want me to fight it. So she continued on the lie and manipulate me. That's what she do. She's a manipulator, narcissist, and manipulate me and make me think that there's nothing I could do, because she stated she had guardianship. So now I found out the truth, y'all. This is in March. This is in March. And so I found out the truth, and they told me what to do. They told me to type up a letter to object it. They told me when I had like the date by, when I had to get it into them. I did it. I got it notarized, and boom, that's what created our first custody hearing, because I objected the guardianship. I had no idea about it, right? When I did that, I went to the police station and said, hey, I need to get my daughter from this house. I didn't want no drama, because my family is very violent, and it's always some crazy stuff. I didn't want none of that. I just wanted the police to take me over there to get my daughter. That's all I wanted. And it didn't go nothing like that. We go, and as you can see, I called her. She's not answering the phone. She has cameras. She see the police outside her house, and she sees me. This woman talking about she's out doing stuff or whatever. She'll call me back later. Never call back. You don't want kidnapping charges. Like, where's my daughter at? And I should have known something, because when I got back, every time I would go to her house to like try to see my daughter and stuff like that, she would make excuses. Oh, she's with her dad or with the dad's girlfriend and stuff like that. And it was just weird to me. And I'm like, well, how is she? How did she feel about me being locked up? Oh, she didn't say nothing. It just was a whole bunch of lies and manipulation, so this woman could mask her lies to be able to get actual custody of my daughter. And I'm in la la land, like, not knowing what's going on, y'all. For real, I didn't know until that whole therapy situation that had me dig deeper, like, something not right. But whole time, Spirit was like, it's not sitting right. Ain't no way she got custody. So, failed attempt with trying to get my daughter the first time. The police said, once you know that she's there, call us, we'll get your daughter. I'm a fighter, y'all. I've been fighting all my life. My whole life has been traumatic. So I don't just give up like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I end up riding past her sister's house. My dad there, my baby brother there, my mom's van's there. Everybody hiding out. My mom done went on a run with my daughter. So I called the police. I'm like, she's here. I know it. They didn't want to make a scene. And the thing about white people is, when it comes to their areas, especially if it's a nice, we're middle class or whatever. I'm not from the hood. Didn't come from the hood, whatever. So this is a new development where my aunt stayed at. She just bought this house. And they're like, we're not wanting to make a scene. So if they have paperwork, or it's going to be a problem. I was like, I have full custody of my daughter. Go get my daughter. So we go, driving there. I had my baby with me, my 8-year-old. We go over there because she's thinking, yay, we're going to get our sister. And it became another traumatic event for my baby. So we go, and there was 2 officers. So this officer comes up, and he states this.
Here's the current situation. And I'm sure the deputy might explain it to you. Your daughter, in front of me, I'm a mandatory reporter, said that she had to go back with you, she'd kill herself. So I've called the EMS, and this lady here just got told the same thing. So now she has a mandatory job. So now an ambulance is on the way, and they're going to take her to doctor's hospital where she'll talk to a doctor.
Okay.
And the doctor will determine what's the next step.
She's gonna be held and sent to a mental institute. We've been through this multiple times.
So that's probably what's going to happen next.
Already.
I've also told your parents that legally, you are the guardian. Until we can have the court case, you are the legal guardian. The father of her was also claiming that he's the guardian, but
No, he's a liar.
I'm not taking sides on this at all. Is he getting child support?
That's what they're trying to work on now, is to get him off of child support. That's what they're working on and trying to, but when it's all said and done, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all okay. So at this point, that's all I can do for now.
Okay.
So they're gonna take her up to doctors. So you should just wait and see what they tell you.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yes. Manipulation at its finest. Yep. This isn't something new. These children, I'm going to say this new generation, and I'm really not going to talk a lot about her mental, but this new generation, once they learn how to manipulate to get what they want, that's what they do. My daughter has had multiple hospitalizations, and each was, she didn't know how to control her emotions. She didn't know how to regulate her emotions. She felt this way, so she's like, oh, let me just do this. Even went down to me taking her phone and going through the search history, and she was searching things like how to put herself in a self-induced coma but not die. Things like that. Or whatever, because of a fight with her sister. And it's deeper than that, and it's a lot, y'all. I'll make a separate video. So now she knows when it comes to suicide or unaliving attempts that the whole world takes that serious. Everybody takes that serious. She knows that. So what can she say so that she doesn't have to come back to my house where there's going to be consequences for you doing bad? I'm going to just unalive myself. If I got to go back where I'm going to just unalive myself. And that's what she said. Now everybody's in a frenzy and they're like, oh my God, why would a 13-year-old say this about her mom? The mom has to be doing something. Oh my God. So they're like, they're a mandated reporter and they have to basically make sure that she's good. They wouldn't allow me to talk to my daughter. They wouldn't allow me to, they alienated me. They treated me like the worst piece of shit. Like, I haven't been a mom for all these years. Like, I hadn't been the one in the hospital with my daughter. None of these people supported. I'm the one driving hours and hours. Like, what? They treat me like I don't have custody. So now we get to the hospital. My demon birth giver tells the dad to go up there and act like you got custody. But I'm going to tell y'all this. When it comes to us black people, we don't have no rights in America. And I'm tired of y'all. No justice, no peace, no racist ass. They don't give a fuck about that. I'm not doing no protesting or none of that shit. It's an eye for an eye. That's who I am. Don't give a fuck. Take it how you want to take it. That's the only way that they really feel you. That's the only way. They don't give a fuck about our tears, us crying, us pleading. They gives no fucks about us. And it been since the beginning. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Okay? Getting off track. Right? So we're at the hospital. And I'm in the same vicinity as this man that wrote a statement on me that I'm facing up to 40 years in prison. Y'all think I'm about to stay? Absolutely not. No. They told me they couldn't deny him access to her. They couldn't deny the grandparents access. I said, well, what rights do I have? What rights do I really have? I removed myself from that situation. It wasn't that long ago I was sitting in jail, didn't even know what the hell I was sitting in jail for a judge to tell me I'm facing up to 40 years in prison. No, let me get the fuck on. So I left. I said, y'all figure it out. He said, oh, we'll call you. There was no call made. What my daughter and her dad end up doing, because I have access to her records. I'm a real mom. I have access to everything. I'm the one that take my children to their appointments, nobody else, right? So I retrieved the notes, right? And in the notes, it states that she is not suicidal. She doesn't want to take her life. She just stated if she had to come home with me, her mother, then she would attempt to take her life. Is that not manipulation? Nothing else was said, by the way, y'all. Just want y'all to know as we get further into the story. Nothing else was stated. Nothing was stated that I abused her, hit her, do nothing. She just stated she didn't want to come home with me. That's it. Why? Why, daughter? Why? Why not? Manipulation, right? She said she just wants to go home with her dad. She stated she lived with her dad and wasn't living with her dad. Lie. Lie. And he's like, yeah, I just want to take her home. They release her to somebody that has no rights to her. Couldn't have been a white person. Couldn't have been white people. Couldn't have. Couldn't have. Oh, Lord, this country. But anyway, so she leaves. She's released to him. So at this point, what else do I do, y'all? What do I do? I'm thinking in my mind, okay, so the next thing is I'm going to just go get her from school. Have the police, have my documents about her mental health, all the documents about her mental health, so they know that this is something that she does, and get her out of school. I have full custody, right? Absolutely not. Demon birth giver was like, nope. I know my daughter. She don't just give up. That's not going to be it. She's going to figure out a way to get her daughter. So this woman goes and she applies for a restraining order, which in Georgia is a TPO, temporary protective order. So they come to my house late night to serve me with this protective order. And in the protective order, it states I can't contact her, the demon birth giver, or my daughter, or anybody over there at that house, or whatever. But they scheduled court for the end of the month, which was April. It was April, right? So I'm like, cool, because at this point, y'all, what else? My life is a movie. What else, right? So, we go to court, and this woman is in there performing. She's going on. She's telling lies. The statement that she wrote to get the protective order, the temporary protective order, was she stated that I abused my children. The child that she has, the reason why she has attempted unaliving is because of how bad I abused her. You have to be a sick-ass individual to use somebody's trauma against them. That's what narcissists do, right? So, she went on and said, I abandoned my kids, I neglect my kids. She's been in fear for her life for years, trying to get away from me and things like that, which is beyond laughable, y'all. The woman been using me for years for money, for years. Before I cut her off, the first time in 2022, I bought this woman an authentic Gucci purse, authentic Gucci wallet. I got her flowers, edible arrangements. Here y'all go.
My mom wanted a Gucci bag, so I got her one.
Wish we coulda shared the jar with Bamati. Yo, grandma. Roughest and the toughest time we've been through this. Grandma used to tell me, said that me so rich.
They found no weapon, just only a draw first. But I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that.
I've paid this woman van off. I helped her fix her AC unit. I've given this woman so much money. You're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. She was trying to get away from me where and when. Never gave that. Never, ever. We talked up until I found out. She was still actively texting me. Even even after the whole situation, even after me getting out of jail when she bonded me out, I was texting her up until I went and got the police to go get my daughter. Now you've been in fear for your life for years. You've been trying to get away from your daughter, who is violent, that has no violent history. So what she did, y'all, was use my pending felony charges against me. She tried to use that to get a restraining order. The judge denied it. I brought my documents. I'm someone, I keep documents. I love to argue, but I'm gonna argue facts. Because when you talk about me and you lie on my name, make sure it's facts, because that's defamation. I'm that girl. Don't sit there and lie on me. I'm someone of honesty. You're not about to play with me. You lie on me, make sure it's factual, is all I'm gonna say. So I got my documents. They denied the restraining order. What they did was they put a good behavior order in place, y'all. Now, this is what I want y'all to do. We're in the state of Georgia. A good behavior order is just a keep your peace order. There's a domestic dispute. So they just want both parties to keep the peace until we situate the stuff with custody. The judge even put on there, whatever the juvenile judge rules overrides anything doing with the good behavior order. So if that judge states my daughter's to come back home with me, that ends that good behavior order, right? Again, a good behavior order is not an arrest warrant. It's none of that. It's just keep your peace. Y'all just basically like you on probation or something. I don't know. Like, just y'all stay out the way. Y'all don't contact each other. What I found messed up was, how do you put a good behavior order in place and state I can't contact my daughter that I have custody of? It made no sense. It wasn't, the system was not designed to help black people, black men, black women. A good ass mother that has custody, and they'll say it over and over again. You got custody. No, I don't. How? And y'all continue to play in my face. So boom, we go to our first court hearing for the custody. This woman is literally deserves an Oscar, y'all. She's in there. She deserves an Oscar. She's in there screaming. She has guns. She has so many guns. Oh, she has these pending charges. Now she's using my pending charges against me. And what I find even funny, y'all, she mentioned that. And it's like, if you're so scared of somebody, like, no, y'all, this is a legit question. If you're so scared of somebody, that person that you've been in fear for years, why would you bond them out? That's the real question. Why would you bond somebody out that you're scared of? Somebody that has caused you harm. But yet the judge asked you, had I ever put my hands on you? Had I ever pulled out a gun? Had I did any of that? And you said no. What are you in fear for? What did I do to you? Nothing. That makes no sense. So we're in court. And so there was allegations brought up about abuse and things like that. So now we're in the state of Georgia. We call CPS. So up north, CPS, Child Protective Services. Down here, we call it DFACS, which is Department of Family and Children Services, right? So now they open up an investigation with DFACS and stated after the investigation, then he will conclude where the child will be placed. Until then, she is to stay in this woman's home. The judge states that custody still remains with the mother. The child stay at that house until the investigation is done. Now, the investigation turned into a whole bunch of boom. Like, I'm gonna have to summarize it because it's so long and so much. But basically, this white caseworker that didn't like me had an agenda, wanted to terminate my parental rights with all of my children. She came to my house, played in my face. I already know. I know them white devils when I see them. She come in my house, She's asking these questions and this, that, and the third. Whole time she knew she had sided with my demon birth giver, right? It wasn't in the best interest of any of my children. So there was allegations. So they stated that me and my son, my oldest son, needed to come into the office, DFAC's office. We go into the office. They thought that they could bully me. They had me in a room. They thought that they could bully me, and I don't allow anybody to bully me. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't allow anybody to bully me. So I just politely excused myself because I'm not going to be in an area that doesn't serve me. It's not serving me. This is negative. Like, I refuse. So basically what they said was I couldn't protect my children, and so they removed my children from my home. And with removing my children from my home, they asked me where could they be placed temporarily until the investigation is over, right? I said their dad. They didn't know that we were married. This man has joint custody. So if my kids can't be with me, they're going to be with the person that has legal rights to his children. So I said they can go to their dad's house. What's his information? Gave information. But at this time, I'm in fight mode. So it's either fight or flight. I'm in fight mode. So I got to go get my kids because ain't nobody about to touch my motherfucking kids. I cuss a lot. I tried to do my best, y'all. If you don't like it, click off. Nobody's about to touch my kids. I'll lay down behind mine. I'll sit down and do time behind mine, too. I'll lay down. I'll sit down and do time. Take it how y'all want to. I'm that mother behind my kids. So, y'all talking about they gotta go? Boom, cool. I did about 100 to their school to get my kids. Nobody's about to touch my kids. Sat them down. I'm like, y'all can't live with mommy no more. Y'all gotta go live with daddy. My middle daughter, she's a mini-me. Never seen her upset. Like, I don't like to show emotions. I'm working through that. It's caused by past trauma and stuff, right? Never seen her cry like that ever in life. When I tell y'all my baby broke down so bad, y'all, she was like, I don't care what they say. You're the best mom ever. I don't care if they say I can't talk to you. I'm going to still call you. I'm going to still FaceTime you. They can't stop me from seeing you. I was like, it's going to be okay, baby. It's going to be okay, baby. Yeah. So, dropped them off at their daddy's house. So, they were going to DFACS. That caseworker, that racist ass caseworker, was going to all these different homes. In the meantime, I had situations with my son. He was the only one that was in the house. My oldest son, he's in his mind, he has a lot of mental illnesses too. In his mind, he's thinking they're trying to do something to him. They're trying to either take him or like unalive him, right? And so every day was like a challenge, and I have to make a separate video about him because it is coming up on his 1 year since he almost died. Trauma. Trauma after trauma, y'all. For real, I'm very resilient. So I had to deal with all his mental stuff. He had been hospitalized multiple times too through this whole situation, running away multiple times, panic attack, like y'all, bad. So now I'm in the house having to deal with this. Wow, my other 3 kids have been removed from my home for no reason. I ain't do nothing wrong. The investigation continues. So now we're still in 2023, y'all. Fast forward to July of 2023. Now I'm just like, hey, I'm about to move. We pack up all our stuff. We put all our stuff in storage. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. But I know y'all will say you can't run from your problems. It was just like I needed peace, y'all. Like my mind, it was so much stuff going on. I had just dealt with my son almost dying in front of me. So it was such a traumatic experience. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to lose it. Dealt with that. And also my mom being a witch. And she tried to kill me twice through witchcraft, y'all. It was bad. Like mentally, literally this whole situation, it's like the kidnapping, there was literally like 5, 6, 7 different situations within this whole story, y'all. So I have to tell, I'ma just have to do story times is what I'm gonna have to do, because it's too long. I'm gonna have to make a YouTube video for like 3 hours. Y'all not about to sit and watch that. Like, let's be for real. It's too much. So I'm gonna have to break it up. So here, I'm about to move. I didn't forward them my business address. They said, no, we need residential. Bitch, I'm not moving for y'all to know where I live at. No. So if you can't deal with this business address, I don't know what to tell you. So she called an emergency hearing because she's like, oh, I see what she's about to do. She's about to run. This bitch puts a protective order in place. So the protective order, basically, it's forcing me to have to stay here, and then I have to comply to whatever the order states, or I will be in contempt of court, and there you go. I'm locked up, right? Now, y'all, it's July. June, I had been locked up the second time because my demon birth giver was mad about me sharing my journey on TikTok. They had been mad. Several viral videos. I'm a content creator. Been that or whatever. They had been trying to get my page banned and it didn't work. My supporters was really riding for us and stuff like that. They didn't like that, and she didn't like to be seen in that light. And so this woman goes and get a false arrest warrant. False. It states that there is a family violence order in place that I cannot mention her or my daughter on social media. So these people was harassing me. Y'all can see. They was coming to my house harassing me or whatever over me posting about my life on TikTok. That's how sickening the woman is. Long story short, I went and turned myself in after like a week. It was an in-house warrant, like through her city. Like, that's how you know it was some janky legal shit. And then I bonded out, and also I beat that case. As y'all can see right here, I didn't commit a crime. Didn't commit a crime. It was never a family violence order, y'all. Like, that's the shit I had to deal with. So now let's go back to the July, and this woman puts a protective order in place. Now the protective order, basically, everybody has to go to therapy. I have to do evaluation because now they're saying that I'm mentally unstable. Nothing else could stick. So, like the abuse and stuff, we had evaluations done. Couldn't determine that I abused any of my children, by the way. So now they're like, we're gonna have to prove some insanity on this woman. We have to be able to take her rights. We have to prove something. Right? But I want to pause there. We was in court one time, and I was like, y'all might as well say I'm a drug addict. Y'all might as well say I drink alcohol. Y'all might as well. Y'all done said I abuse my kids, I neglect them, I'm violent. You might as well throw everything else in there. Say I'm a drug addict. Say I drink alcohol, I'm an alcoholic. Like, everything. You might as well throw everything out there. Y'all done lied and said this. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Come on. Have me take a drug test. Do a breathalyzer or something. At this point, y'all, I was just like, they're like, oh, no one stated anything about any suspected drug use, so no, we don't have to. No, bitch, do all of that too. Do that too, right? So now we're on the psychiatric and psychological. They did a psychological, nothing came back. Did a psychiatric, nothing came back. I was diagnosed with nothing. Now Susie bitch ass, that's what we nicknamed her, Susie. Now Susie bitch ass is mad. She's fuming, y'all. She's fuming. You can't fuck with me. Can't fuck with me, ho. Can't fuck with me. So now she's off the case. Bye, Susie. She's off the case. They done got rid of her. They claim that she was sabotaging so many other cases. So now they got this black woman on the case. Now we're in October of 2023, by the way, y'all. This woman gets my kids back within 2 weeks of being on the case. Wait, hold on. Because if I'm this abusive person, like, why are you returning kids? She stated she don't see why the kids was removed from the home. Oh, wow. Y'all are doing illegal shit like y'all always do to black people. Story of our fucking life, right? So my kids return back to me. We go to our court hearing or whatever, and they're just checking to make sure we're going to our therapy sessions, we're following the court order and things like that, right? Now fast forward to January of 2024. I wasn't ready, y'all. I said when I got into 2024, I wasn't playing no games with nobody. I sat in multiple court hearings, crying, breaking down. These people talking to me any kind of way. These people lying on me. Me disassociating myself because I'm like, who are they talking about? That's not me. Me as a mother? Who? What? I allowed them to play me, y'all. I did not stand up for myself. I didn't advocate for myself. Never been through no shit like this in my life. I was just like, what do? I froze. Anxiety took control. It wasn't me. 2024, I had to dust my shoulders off. I had to readjust my crown. Like, Empress, Shanique, who are you? You gonna allow these people to continue to lie on your name? You gonna allow these people to continue to abuse you? You gonna allow these people to treat you like you the bottom of the... You forgot who you are? I had to get my whole life. So I come in January, head held high. Y'all not about to fuck with me. I know I'm innocent. I know I ain't do nothing wrong. I'm a fighter. I'm very resilient. And anybody that know me, been associated with me, been around me, know who I've been to my children, all of my children. Knew I was a mother before I was ever even a wife. Meaning I was a wife and I took the role as a mother before even being a wife. Part of one of the reasons why I'm no longer married. You know? But anyway, it's all good. It's cool. I go in January, I was not prepared. They brought my daughter to court. As soon as I saw my daughter, I broke down. I went into the bathroom, I broke down. I was not prepared. At this time, I hadn't seen my daughter in almost a year. This was 11 months. I broke down. I was not prepared. I go into court. Per usual, the judge just be nasty to me. At this time, because of all the trauma, I had removed my kids from public schooling. I'm not an advocate for public school either. I believe you should homeschool and teach your children, so I have been homeschooling my children. They knew that. So any and everything to go against me or to try to get me to a place where they could lock me up and take my rights, that's what they did. So the judge was like, he ordered me to enroll my children in public school, causing even more trauma and chaos in my life. I'm sitting here pleading. I'm sitting here talking. I have the documents. I'm like, when did the abuse start? I keep asking them, when did the abuse start? Why is it okay for this woman to just have to take my daughter? And because my daughter has been manipulated and she was vulnerable and she got mental illnesses, and she stated, oh, if I had to go home, if I had to go back with her, I'm going to unalive myself, and y'all just allow this to happen. Y'all allow this woman to kidnap my daughter. And I seen some people saying, how is it a kidnapping? It's a kidnapping because this woman has no rights. Still today, 2024, we're in June. She has no legal rights to my daughter. It's a kidnapping. I didn't give my daughter to her. She went and got my daughter from her daddy's house. I dropped her off before I went to Jamaica. It's a kidnapping. Is it not? Is it not? Or are y'all saying it's not kidnapping because my daughter wanted to be there? My daughter's not okay. I bet money my daughter's not okay. I know them people. So now we're in January, and this man pissed me off. I ended up getting into it with him about enrolling my kids back in school. He gave me a deadline, so had I not enrolled my kids back in school, I was gonna get locked up. No, I'm gonna play y'all fucking game. I'm gonna play y'all white devil game. That's what I'm gonna do. So I did it. And before I left the court hearing, though, and we got into it, I'm like, well, DFACS has a lawyer, right? They're so sorry and stupid. All of them are sorry and stupid. They are. So they've been wanting to get the case closed since October of 2023, y'all. They've been begging the judge to close, and he refused. Because the whites stick together. It's us black people that don't stick together. They stick together. When that woman got off the case, he talks to the black caseworker crazy. He don't respect any of them. The supervisor, he don't respect any of them. And it's quite funny to me. It's quite funny to me. Because y'all allowed that white woman to come and do all of this shit. Now y'all begging this man to close this case, and he like, nope. Right? So now January, the DFACS lawyer is like, well, what's going to happen with Janiyah? He's like, what are you talking about? He don't even know what, like, y'all, he don't even, it's like he mixed the cases up, right? So the lawyer is like, well, like, custody. He's like, what are you talking about? Where's she been at? At the grandparents' house. He's like, oh, that's where she stays. And everybody's in court like, what? And then he's like, but what about custody? He was like, what are y'all talking about? I been gave custody. That's been done. That case been done months ago. Now everybody in there like, what are you, bruh? It's like we dealing with Joe Biden, y'all. Like we dealing with Biden. I nicknamed him Sleepy Joe. It's like we dealing with Sleepy Joe, y'all. So, you know me, I don't just believe people's words. I go check in and there's no documents. Even asked DFACS. They said no. He never granted her guardianship. So, and he never terminated my legal rights. So, we're all just sitting here looking like, okay, you know. And I'm gonna just say this, y'all, the whole case has been nothing but lies, but they make it so easy for me because all of this stuff is documented and recorded. When I came into 2024, I called it the year of pay me. Pay me 2024. Because if y'all think I'm about to play with any of these bitches, y'all really got me messed up. Absolutely not. I ain't playing with absolutely nobody. Me and my kids got to be paid for this trauma that was caused. These lies that was told on me. All of that. Yeah. Pay me. Me getting locked up falsely. What? Anyway, so January happened. We leave. Kids enrolled in school. Now, we had our last hearing in April and whatever. And there were some other things that happened, y'all. I'll just have to make another video because it's just so much. You're talking about there was things happening like on a weekly basis, monthly, things like that. I ran into my mom and Janiyah, my daughter, in February. Didn't say anything to him. Janiyah ain't say nothing to me. And I went about my business because I had to mourn my daughter and just come to terms. Life is life. Just like with my oldest son. Life is going to show you and teach you. And even with him now, I'll make an update video. That's all I'm going to say. So, we go to court April. Worked in my favor. Judge was finally on my side. And said that he didn't want to see us back until, like, school starts back around. And was just giving me kudos for progress and how good I'm doing. Like, I ain't been... Just stupid shit like that. You gotta play that game, though, y'all. Just is what it is. So... they was mad. My demon birth giver, she is obsessed with me. Like, my original TikTok page got banned. There was a new one. She found me on that. She on Insta. She's everywhere. Downloading my videos. I'm trying to get a new order because the good behavior order expired in April. So she feared me trying to get my daughter, y'all. She feared me trying to get my daughter, so she tried to get the order extended. That was denied, so she went out and tried to get a new temporary protective order. That failed because I ain't answer my door. Police kept coming, not answering my door. Fool me once, shame on you, me, whoever. You're not gonna fool me twice. I don't give a fuck how it goes. Nope, you won't give me a second time. I won't open my door. So she kept sending the police to my house. They end up throwing that out, as you can see right here. The bitch is sick. She's sick. Anything to try to destroy my life because she does not benefit off of me from money no more. She gonna do that. She knows my kids have always been my life. The only way to hurt me and harm me is through my kids, and that's what she did. My only other question to her is, if I'm such an abuser, why you ain't take all the kids? You just took one, and you took the most vulnerable one. Y'all got to think about stuff like that. It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. She's evil. So the case is still ongoing. She does not have custody. I still have custody of all 5 of my children, even though I only have 3 that live with me. DFACS continues to come to my house and ask me, do you want her back, and play these games. We've had multiple conversations. I will share here. And quite honestly, y'all, we have started to heal, and our house is peaceful. We're actually at peace, and we are happy right now. The environment my daughter has been in with them people, I don't foresee it being a better outcome with her coming back to my home. I'm gonna just be honest with you, because there have been some of y'all saying, oh, like, well, why wouldn't you say you want her back? Do you know how many conversations we've had with these? They ask the same stupid ass shit every time they come. Do you want her back? Is anything gonna change if she comes back? Like, what are y'all talking about? She could do the same shit. Y'all don't allow her to stay at this woman's house for 16 months. She can come back and be like, oh my God, I want to unalive myself, and know it's gonna work, because she knows how to manipulate. She knows how to manipulate the system now. No, respectfully, no. All I want is to have a conversation with my daughter. I don't care who's in the room. When I say I don't care, like DFACS and stuff, not the birth giver, not my procreator, my dad, brother, nothing. I'm talking about the government. I don't give a fuck. Record it. I want to have a conversation with my daughter. I want to be able to look my daughter in the eye. My daughter's not going to lie to my face. I want to have a conversation with my daughter. I want to hug my daughter. I want to kiss my daughter. I want to tell my daughter I love her. That's it. She could stay there. She could stay there. Again, we've all mourned her. It's to the point where DFACS stated that when we went to court January, then most likely my daughter would be returned back to me. And this is what they said to my children. So they got excited. My middle daughter was like, everybody deserves a second chance, mommy, blah, blah, blah. When I came home after that court hearing in January of this year and told them, no, your sister's not coming home, that was it for them. My kids don't deserve that. They don't. They've been lied to, broken promises. I don't do that to my children. No. So we had to mourn her and let her go. She's been stating that she want to see her siblings. They got her so messed up about me where in the notes it'll say that, oh, she didn't completely cut contact with me, she just doesn't want to live with me. What are you talking about? I ain't even talked to. It's so sick. Like, the whole situation is so sickening, y'all. It's so sickening. They got her so manipulated and brainwashed to hate me. And it's like, what? They've gotten her to write letters. Like the DFACS supervisor, she's beefing with me with her fat, ugly ass. Take it how y'all want to take it. Let me just say this. I love BBWs, by the way, y'all. But this is a disgusting, ugly ass bitch. I'm going to just be honest with you. She is. She's ugly inside and outside. Playing with my kids, nothing's off limit. I go to hell. I go to hell when it comes to my kids. So when you want to sit here and play in my face and then sit there and have my daughter write a letter stating how bad of a mom I am, and these are documents that state the defect supervisor had my daughter write a letter so they could bring to court so that the judge can say, hey, she's a horrible mom. Her daughter's saying all these things about her. Go ahead and give custody to grandma. And guess what happened, y'all? Didn't work in their favor. They asked for the judge to review the letter, and he said no. And I walked out that courtroom laughing. Evil will never prevail. Anyway, I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to continue to fight for justice. Justice isn't my daughter coming back home, but the lies that were told on me, the defamation, the trauma that was caused, me being treated unjustly. Like, no, I'm going to continue to fight for justice. As for my daughter, I know the entity that she's dealing with. I wouldn't care if I had a conversation with my daughter and she told me she hated me. Don't take it personal. I know that this woman has rooted my daughter. And if you don't believe in witchcraft and things like that, go about your business. It's very much real. My mother is a witch. I will make a separate video about it. We're Jamaican. She ubbiyed my daughter. She practiced ubbia and she masked it with Christianity. She's been doing that my whole entire life. I have so many different stories. And that's what happened. Until my daughter comes out of that spell that she's under, she's like, y'all, it's unfortunate. My daughter ain't know no better. I don't take it personal. Now, throughout this year and a half, I had different emotions, of course. Because I'm like, why would you lie on me? Why would you do this? Look who I've been in your life. Look what, like, no. Look how I've always fought for you and your brother. Multiple hospitalizations. Sometimes both of them being in the hospital at the same time, y'all. Me fighting so that they get the best treatment, the best services, while these people try to threaten me. Oh, no, they're going to go to this raggedy-ass hospital that's abusing children. No, they're not. Standing 10 toes deep with administration so that my kids are treated well and they get the proper help that they need. It's just a lot. It's unfortunate for Janiyah. I know she's not okay. I was able to, they have alienated me, so I cannot get my daughter's records no more because I started posting that and they got mad. Because again, y'all, I come with receipts. So again, when you talk about me, make sure it's factual. Make sure it's factual. And anything I state out my mouth, it's not an opinion, it's factual. And I got the documents to back it. Right? Oh, also, I didn't tell y'all. They got mad because the felony cases threw that out. Again, all those evaluations came back. I have nothing. I was diagnosed with nothing. And then this whole ordeal with the good behavior order and me getting locked up, they threw that out. So they had nothing to state, oh, this woman's parental rights needs to be terminated. So it's really interesting to see how this situation is going to end, because what have I done? Out of all 5 of my children, my daughter, Janiyah, is the only one that never got sick. Since she's been in that woman's house, before they started denying me my daughter's medical records and stuff and alienating me because I'm posting factual documents, my daughter had been sick 12 times in the last year that she was over there. This is a child that never gets sick, y'all. I started posting that. My daughter was failing all her classes. She was in 9th grade. My daughter was failing all her classes. This is a child that's A honorable, maybe like 1 or 2 Bs. So she's made AB honorable before, failing all of her classes, and yet they still want to play in my face and be like, oh yeah, she's doing amazing. She's doing amazing because what? She ain't attempted to unalive herself, but she's sick and she's failing her classes. Is she really good? I started bringing that up. They got mad, y'all. That's why the defect supervisor beefed with me. Bitch, can't fuck with me. Try again. You're uneducated, like I told you. You're very uneducated. So, yeah, my daughter isn't okay. Despite the front, I know my child. She's not okay. They ended up taking her out of the high school she was going to, and now they have her in the home online. They also tried to get her on psych meds, but she's okay. They set up an appointment for a psychiatric appointment for her to be put on medication. If she's doing so good mentally, why are y'all trying to put her on medication? So I went ahead and stopped all of that. I sure did, because no. My daughter doesn't need to be on medication if she's okay over there, right? Right? She was only on medication in my home. Why are y'all trying to put her on medication? She's doing amazing there. Oh, she doesn't have any suicidal thoughts? I know my daughter. But again, y'all, we'll see how it plays out. For Janiyah, I hate it for her. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I hate it for her. I really do. I know for a fact she's miserable over there. But it's nothing she could do. She's stuck. There's no way for her to contact us. There's no way for her to speak the truth. And that's all I want. I just want her to speak the truth. And like I said to her and her brother, her older brother, Jeremiah, life is going to be y'all biggest teacher. But when they get a little bit older, especially, Jeremiah's seeing it now, especially my daughter, when she's old enough, like she turned 18 and she's able to really like come out and speak and share to the world how their grandma abused them and manipulated them, and how the government and the system forced her and had her turn against me. I don't want none of y'all coming around saying, oh my God, she was telling the truth. Oh my gosh, this really happened. Okay. My time coming. I'm going to get my justice. Me and my children. Watch. Just wait. My heart is pure. And when it comes to my kids, my babies, woo, if y'all only knew. This ain't even a half. If y'all only knew. So, that's basically it for the situation with my daughter being kidnapped by my demon birth giver. I hate that this is going to be another birthday that we miss, but we were thinking about doing like a virtual celebration for my daughter. Hopefully she sees it. I don't know her social media stuff. Hopefully she sees mine and she's seen that I have been fighting for her and I ain't give up on her, even though I don't, like, as far as her coming back to my house, you know. But I don't want nothing more for Janiyah but for her to actually be healthy and heal. That's it. I just want her to be healthy and heal. And if that's her being somewhere else, it's definitely not that house. Absolutely not. If I was given an option for her to be somewhere else and she heals and gets the mental help that she needs, I'm all for it. She doesn't necessarily have to be in my home if my home is not serving her, right? All I want is my baby to be healthy. I want her to be healthy. And I want her to grow to be a healthy adult. And that's not what it is. It's not. She has 2 narcissists raising her. 2 abusive people. One that abused her. Like, and the government don't give a fuck about it. Didn't care. Laughed in my face. Oh well. Anyway, y'all, that's it. I'm burning up out here. I will drop the video about her mental health and hospitalizations on her birthday, which is 6/28. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love and light to y'all. Toodles.